Meetings are a fact of corporate life, and some executives spend up to 80% of their working life in meetings. But as the Finance Quarter on ABC News 24's Andrew Robertson reports, new research suggests that most of these meetings are a waste of time.
Well, Nicole, Sydney-based management consultant Dr. Ken Hudson speaks to many managers as he goes about his job, and one of the things he found they were constantly saying to him was that they spend a lot of their time at meetings and they don't actually get much value from those meetings. So it prompted Dr. Hudson to do some research. He spoke to scores of companies, and one of the conclusions he found was that meetings should actually be a last resort.
One of the leaders I interviewed in my recent research basically said whenever he was asked to go to a meeting, he rang up the person and said, well, can we sort it out over the phone? And he said in about 50% of cases he could do that straight away. So I think if you're going to get a lot of people together, and they're expensive and it takes a lot of time, you have to have a really crystal clear purpose why you're doing it and what you're trying to achieve.
So as Dr. Hudson just said, you need a really clear purpose for a meeting. He also believes there needs to be a very flexible agenda, and he says there must be a way to accurately measure the effectiveness of meetings.
So Andrew, what's he saying? Is Dr. Hudson suggesting that we should scrap meetings altogether?
Well, no. In fact, Dr. Hudson is actually pro-meetings. What he is saying, though, is that if you are going to have a meeting, it demonstrably needs to add value for both the company and its stakeholders. And he says one of the things he uncovered in his research is that many managers simply don't know how to properly prepare for a meeting.
And the great irony for me is that managers and leaders are always saying to themselves, look, we're time poor, we're under pressure and pressure to do more and more with less and less, and yet the very thing that occupies 70–80% of the time meetings is the one thing they don't actually want to invest in.
Another thing Ken Hudson has discovered is that he's found that many people feel trapped into accepting every invitation to a meeting that they receive. He believes it's very important in companies to develop a culture where people can feel free to reject an invitation to a meeting without any ramifications coming from that rejection.
So Andrew, when it comes to meetings, is it a case that they should be short and sweet?
Well, Ken Hudson believes that one of the problems with meetings is that they're just too long, and he says it's convenient because it fits everybody's calendar to schedule a meeting for an hour. Now, he reckons that if you schedule a meeting for 45 minutes, it will actually focus everybody's mind and you'll achieve just as much in 45 minutes as you will in an hour. He describes what he says is Hudson's law of meetings is that a meeting will expand to fill the time that's allocated to it.
Andrew Robertson, thank you.
Thanks, Nicole.